In today's episode, we preview the 2018 Flower and Garden Festival.
I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
You are listening to the Main Street Magic Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy Stein and John Marone. Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and I am joined by my co-host and lover of fine foods, John Marone.
I'm doing a good job there. Hello.
Welcome to the show, John. We're so glad to have you. So in today's episode, we're going to talk Flower and Garden Festival and what we are most looking forward to. Please check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at mainstmagic. If you like coffee and you love Disney, then you have to go to expeditionroasters.com and check out their themed coffees. Not only are their coffees delicious, they are packaging and flavoring them based off of your favorite Disney attractions. So they have flavors like Skipper's Brew, Jungle Banana Pie, Roundup Roast, Campfire S'mores, and Enchanted Tiki Coconut, plus many, many more. You can use Main Street Magic 20 at checkout to receive 20% off your first order. Now, before anyone thinks that John was just maybe falling asleep right next to me here, we are in two separate locations. He is on a glorious road trip and will be back home tomorrow, but we wanted to knock out a couple episodes and really talk some flower and garden. So when this episode comes out on February 28th, I will already be on my way, if not already at Epcot, starting to enjoy some of the delicious food. So we want to run through the booths, kind of let people know what we're looking forward to try, and then obviously we'll be able to do a full review once we both have had a chance to visit. So Flower and Garden this year runs February 28th all the way through May 28th. So you have quite a bit of time to enjoy it. And of course, we'll again see the Garden Rocks concert series, and you'll have the option for dining packages there. But, you know, we got 16 booths this year, John. And I know we've gone through this in the past when we've talked Food and Wine Fest, but what are a few quick tips you would give to people to hopefully help them get the most out of Flower and Garden, which traditionally is maybe not quite as busy and crazy as Food and Wine? But as we've seen the crowds increase recently because of various things and the way that Disney's now filling the parks on those low crowd days, what would you let people know most so that they can get basically, you know, the most out of visiting?
Well, I think the number one thing is, right, plan ahead. I mean, don't go in without some sort of plan or agenda. You know, you just can't. Anything nowadays, you just can't wing it. So, you know, go in with a plan, even if the plan means that, you know, even though, you know, some of the food and drink you're going to try, you know, great, because you'll at least know where it is and kind of where the booths are, you know, get your fast passes ahead. But remember, when this is starting and you start now and we start getting further into, you know, April and then into May, be prepared for the heat. Yeah. You know, we go every Mother's Day weekend, and we spend every Mother's Day at Epcot, and it's right there in the heat of, you know, right towards the end, but right with Flower and Garden. But, you know, the expectation of being, you know, mid to upper 80s, be ready for it. So, you know, when we were at Disney last weekend and we were we were 86 and it was February. We realized that we didn't even have the sunscreen in our backpack yet that we take to Disney every time. Yeah. And, you know, it was something that we probably could have used right off the bat. So be prepared. Be prepared for crowds, be prepared for waiting. And Flower and Garden, while I like it, and it's a great festival, I already like Festival of the Arts more because I think there's more to see.
Agree completely.
You know, yep. You know, Flower and Garden's nice because they have a lot of the topiaries and the different stuff, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's okay. I don't think you have the food booths, but the other booths to me aren't as exciting.
Yeah.
Where at least the art festival, I mean, the booths were great going in, and a whole booth that was dedicated to different types of I don't know if you went in the booth, but did you go in the Star Wars
Yes.
painting booth?
Oh yeah. I wanted to buy
So-
everything in there.
So did my son. So did Gavin. I mean that was a great booth. And then you hit another booth and there were Disney pictures. Then you hit another booth and it had nothing to do with Disney.
Yeah.
I just think there was just I'd like to see that be expanded as far as dates, because I also was impressed with some of the food selections, and it wouldn't bother me if Flower and Garden dates got shrunk down a little, or it just it's nice because it's springtime and the park looks great, but just a little bit less to see.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely not getting much on the entertainment side. But the food looks really good. And then, yeah, the other thing is, as you said with planning, is, you may want to set yourself a little bit of a budget. And we've talked about this plenty of times with Food and Wine and some of the other festivals. When you're looking sometimes between $5 to $10 per dish or per drink, usually more towards the $10 range, it can add up real quick. So if you're not smart about your budgeting, you're going to spend a ton of money. I recommend getting the gift cards. They've got the little gift cards always that you can strap around your wrist, and you can preload that with some money, and then exactly kind of how much you have left on your budget. So yeah, let's start to go through the food booths, and I think we're going to kind of tag team these, go back and forth. And I sent you the list of all the menu items of all 16 booths. So let's just kind of run through them and let people know what we're most excited to try on a food level, on a drink level. And where we come up first is the Pineapple Promenade over in Showcase Plaza. Not a lot on the food spectrum, much more on the drink menu. What are you looking forward to over there?
So this one, we really did plan ahead on this one.
Yeah.
I was under the impression you had the pineapple.
Well, I did.
Promenade.
I did. I have actually mine in some bold letters, because I think, yeah, that's right. Because I got stuck with the one with not a lot of food choices. Because it either comes down to a spicy hot dog with pineapple chutney or pineapple soft serve. So I think I'm going to look at the hot dog there. But what I was most looking forward to there was the pineapple beer flight, which includes 2 beers from Georgia, and then one actually from Hawaii. And one is like kind of a pina colada type flavored beer. One is a pineapple wheat. And then there is the Sweetwater Coastal IPA with pineapple, which I know we can get local at Publix, which I've had before and is very good. But I think the pineapple beer flight's probably what's looking best there. And then they even have a pineapple soft serve with Parrot Bay coconut rum, which I would assume is just going to be like getting a Dole Whip with rum over at Animal Kingdom there. But again, that booth didn't have me too excited. But I think the next one, which is I don't know how you pronounce it, Bauer Market over in Germany. Bauer Market over the farmers market.
Yes, in Germany, and the market is missing the E between the K and the T, so it's market.
Okay.
Hey, were you going to talk about the bands that they had for Garden Rocks?
No, that's all.
Okay, so I have them up. So before I get to the food, I'm off on a tangent here, but they have concert series during Food and Wine, and I was just looking at some of the musical groups, and I think this could be the best year for musical groups for this festival.
Yeah.
So you have to check your dates, people, but just going through, starting with the first group to the last one. But you have Night Ranger. Next is Starship, Simple Plan, Little River Band, the orchestra starring former members of ELO. Foghat, new this year.
Yeah, that's right.
Survivor, new
Eye
this year.
of the Tiger.
Yep, Smash Mouth, new this year.
Yeah.
Rick Springfield, new this year. Joe D. Messina new this year. Lone Star new. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Hermits, The Village People. Don Felder, formerly of the Eagles, the Guess Who, and the Spinners.
That is a good selection.
That is a good lineup.
It really is. Who there again? Dates that we already have planned.
Mother's
aside.
Day weekend, Village People.
Yeah, might have to stop in for that.
Yeah.
What would you
Day
pick?
Weekend, Village People.
What else would you pick to see again if you could just wave a magic wand and just show up there to see?
Gosh, there's a bunch. I mean, I'd like to see Night Ranger. I think ELO would be interesting. I'd like to see Foghat. Yeah. Just hearing them do Slow Ride and rocking out back there in the American Pavilion would be pretty good. Smash Mouth, I like Smash Mouth. I saw them in Tampa after a Rays baseball game, and the sound quality was so terrible.
Oh, no.
But I like it. Rick Springfield, be good. And that's about it. But, of course, all those, I'll have to look, because when is the race? The race is April when we're going, right?
Yeah. Yep,
when are we going in April?
Let's see, that'll be the April 19th, the 22nd. So it'd be Jody Messina and I think it'd be Jody
and Lone
Messina.
Star.
Yep, and Lone Star would finish out.
Okay.
So I'm okay.
So
there.
yeah, I'll have to figure out some dates to see some people I really want to see.
I really want to head down and maybe we look at some schedules even if we decided to go down. I would love to see Smash Mouth. Growing up, I was, Fushu Meng that had All Star and all on it. And All Star was the worst track on that entire album. Everything else was outstanding. But that came out the year I graduated high school. And I remember working summers. I worked for the school system, and we would move a school that was being renovated. We would move all of the furniture out of that school so they could come in, renovate it. And I just listened to that thing on, it was probably, I guess, a Discman at the time. I mean, I would listen to that on repeat every single day. I would love to get down and see them. And then same thing. I mean, some of these, just to see Survivor perform Eye of the Tiger, like you said, Foghat and Slow Ride. I mean, just to see those single songs would be worth it. And it would be, of course, a lot better than seeing Tiffany like we did last year. I'd say most of these would beat that. So, or Night Ranger and Sister Christian. It would be amazing to see them perform that there. That would be awesome. So we'll have to take a look. Yeah, the only other ones that line up, Spring Break. I don't think we'll be able to chance to get over there, but that's Little River Band and Jody Messina. And then in May, Village People. We could take a look at the Village People while we're there. Might not be too bad.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see.
Well, and you won't be too far from Germany, where
that's right.
The Bauern Market.
Barner Market, Farmers Market for Germany. So they have a few different items. If I'm looking at it, my choices here, the first three are all really, number one and number two are potato pancakes. One with applesauce, which is a traditional way you have a potato pancake, right? Either with applesauce or sour cream on it. The second one is a potato pancake with caramelized ham, onions, and sour cream. So two traditional potato pancakes. I like those, so I'd be interested in trying them. The third item is a toasted pretzel bread topped with ham and melted cheese. Good sandwich choice there. And then their dessert, a warm cheese strudel with mixed berries. Yeah, okay. So to me, there's a couple things that I would definitely try there. But, we talked about before, I think at these festivals, I think the beer flights turn out to be the better deal because you're going to try some things you haven't tried before.
Yeah.
So they have an original Munich lager, Heffenweiser, and a black lager. I think those would be good, but the one that I'd be most interested in for the drink is they have an organic brut, champagne with elderflower and mint.
That doesn't seem German to me.
It does not. I guess the fact that it's called a Hugo.
That's it. Yep.
That's the thing. So the name, I guess, would be German, but I'd be interested in trying that. So for that, so if you were in Germany, I would look at either the potato pancakes or perhaps the pretzel bread for a sandwich, and then get the beer flight. I will be trying the Hugo.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, let us know how that is. I would that toasted pretzel bread with the Black Forest ham and the melted Gruyere cheese sounds absolutely amazing. Like that's one of the ones that I think if we were, as I was looking through this list, if we were going top 3 items, that one for some reason stuck out to me immediately. Of course, I love getting one of the giant pretzels in Germany anyway with the Schoffenhofer. So if it's anything like those big pretzels and you just slap some ham and cheese on there, I'm set, man. That sounds good.
Yeah.
So then we would head on down to the smokehouse over in the American Adventure, and they've got I'm pretty sure these are the same items that were on there last year, and that is a pulled pig slider with coleslaw. You have beef brisket, burnt ends. Although this time it says there's a smoked pork belly slider with garlic sausage, chorizo, and cheddar fondue. I know the burnt ends were on the menu last year, but I don't remember that pork belly slider. And then, and then they have just the straight beef brisket burnt ends, which is a hash. But for me, what stood out, because I've tried a lot of those other items, was the warm chocolate cake with bourbon salted caramel sauce and spiced pecans. That sounded really good for me, and I'm not traditionally a dessert person, but I had that on my list. And then again, like you said, the beer flight is probably the way to go. But the one that's really stuck out was the Shipyard Maple Bacon Stout. I mean, they're finding a way now to put bacon in everything, and if they're putting it in a beer, I want to try that. So that should be pretty interesting. But it sounds like maybe getting the flight. You get a double IPA with it, and then you get, which actually sounds really good, an orange hibiscus wheat ale from Florida in Central 28 Brewing Company. That sounds pretty good too. And then they don't actually use the word slushy, but they do have a frozen lemonade with Firefly Blackberry Moonshine, which might be right up your alley.
Ooh,
yeah,
not bad.
I don't know what the difference really what makes a slushy compared to something that's just a frozen drink. Consistency?
Has to be.
Okay. We'll make sure we look that. I'll go to Wikipedia after this and get some clarity on that one. But next we have located right between France and Morocco. Year after year, I think this is a really, really good booth, is Florida Fresh. So that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, so I like it. So this one, I'll tell you what I'm going to do last. So they have a carne gusata black bean cake with a cilantro lime sour cream.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's steak and with some black beans and that. Nice. A key lime tart with toasted meringue. Fine. What I caught my eye right away, spicy blackened shrimp with cheddar cheese grits with brown gravy and a local sweet corn relish.
Yeah.
So if they can get those cheddar cheese grits down good with shrimp, that's the dish that I would go for.
Yeah.
But I think the beverages at this one are really good that I'd want to try. So they have a Florida Orange Grove wine that's a key lime sparkling wine. Okay. It'd be interesting to taste it, but the beers are pretty neat. A key lime wheat that I'd really be interested in. But if I go and see this, I am done, right? Watermelon cucumber slushy.
There it is.
With Tamiami Florida gin. Done. Drop the mic.
That's it.
That's me all day long.
That sounds amazing.
Yep. Yeah. So for your children or people who are under 21 or those 21 and olders who do not drink, they have the watermelon cucumber slushy, non-alcoholic as well. You just don't get the gin with it. So yeah, that is a definite check mark booth for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that watermelon cucumber slushy sounds awesome. So next we'll move over to the very cleverly named Honey Bistro, which is hosted by the National Honey Board. So quite the clever name there. I'm sure somebody was laughing when they came up with that one with the Bistro. But they've got a roasted cauliflower with buckwheat, honey, carrot. I'm not going to even read the rest. That doesn't interest me. I kept looking for the word meat and I didn't see it. And then they have a wildflower honey mascarpone cheesecake with orange blossom honey ice cream garnished with fennel, pollen, meringue, kisses. That sounds like it's probably really good. I love cheesecake, but it's like some of the descriptions start to make me laugh. Like they're just, I mean, orange blossom honey ice cream and fennel, pollen, meringue, kisses. Sounds interesting. I would maybe give that a try. But the one that stood out to me,
would love that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I bet it's amazing. The descriptions are like, they're just becoming so funny to me. How they're just trying to get, like, Festival of the Arts makes a lot more sense because every piece of food was such a piece of art as well. This sounds like something that would have been at Festival of Arts. But the one I'm looking forward to trying is the honey tandoori chicken flatbread with white cheddar cheese, charred vegetables, clover honey sour cream, and micro watercress. Love tandoori chicken. Put that on a flatbread. Sounds pretty good. And then they have on their beverage side, they do not have a flight, but they do have two different beers that you can choose from. One is the Orange Blossom Pilsner, which is out of Orlando. This is one of my favorite beers. Absolutely love this. I will buy maybe once a month or something when getting a little crazy. I'll get a 6-pack in cans from Publix. Really, really good beer. So I would probably look at trying the Florida Orange Grove's Winery Orange Blossom Honey Wine, which will be interesting to see if it's too much of a sweet wine or if they found a good way to balance those flavors. And then much like at the Florida Fresh, they do have a honey peach cobbler freeze with blueberry vodka, or for the non-alcoholic drinkers or children, you can get just the honey peach cobbler freeze. So now we're up against frozen lemonades, slushies, and freezes. So we're going to really have to do some research and report back on the exact differences between all of these type of frozen beverages and really see what the difference is. Yeah.
Good. So next is me. We move over to the United Kingdom for Cider House. Yeah. And, to me, United Kingdom, I would love fish and chips. I'm not a huge United Kingdom food fan.
I don't think I've ever had something from one of their booths at any festival, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think I ever have. So looking at it, they have a house-made potato and cheddar cheese biscuit with smoked salmon. A fresh-baked lemon scone, fine. If I had to pick one, I'd probably try the pear cider brine shredded corned beef with braised cabbage, pears, and whatever a Branston dressing is.
I was hoping you knew. I was going to ask you.
No.
Oh,
so
man.
Again, the good news is I'll be skipping the Cider House. So anybody who's listening, if you have one of those dishes and you'd like to drop us a line and review it for us, we would appreciate it. All the drinks, though, obviously, Cider House, they're all cider beers, but some interesting ones. A black cherry hard cider, blood orange tropical hard cider, a mimosa apple orange hard cider, and guess what? You can get all three of them in a cider flight. I would try that.
Yeah, sign me up for that one. Yeah,
that sounds good. And then they do have a non-alcoholic sparkling cider. But it's one of those booths that, not high on my list, so we'll move on.
So, real quick, Branston is a British food brand best known for the original Branston pickle. So if they're saying that thing is covered in a pickle dressing, I'm not even going to walk. I'm not even going to walk through the UK. I'm going to find a way to get straight from Canada over to France. There's got to be a way just with completely bypassing, because no chance I'm trying that one. So interesting. Learn something new every day. So next we'll move over to La Isla Fresca in the Showcase Plaza. And this has actually a lot of good looking items, I think, on their food menu. You can start with the Jamaican braised beef with pigeon pea rice and micro cilantro. They have a sugarcane shrimp skewer with steamed rice and coconut lime sauce. Caribbean conch salad with mango, papaya and pickled red onions. And then they have a tropical mousse cake, which includes layers of passion fruit cake, coconut mousse, and a tropical fruit glaze with fresh pineapple. I mean, out of all the booths I think we've been through so far, I would literally eat all 4 of those items. And the sugarcane shrimp skewer probably stands out to me the most. Those all sound delicious. And then we have, which sounds like it would pair perfectly, Golden Road Brewing Tart Mango Cart Wheat Ale from Los Angeles, California. And then we have another 2 options for, now we're getting into tropical freezes. One with Cruisin' Mango Rum, and then, of course, you can get that non-alcoholic as well. So, yeah, we could really hit up the tropical frozen drinks at all these different booths. I don't know that you could do them all in one day, though. This sounds like it would start to get a little rough after we're into our 4th or 5th one here.
Yeah, too many slushes, freezes, or whatever name
Frozen
they give them.
lemonades, yeah.
Yeah,
Ice
frozen.
cubes.
Yeah, could be a little too much, but at least they're trying to combat the heat, it sounds like.
Yeah. So far, we haven't seen a hot soup, so that's
No.
good.
If we head to Showcase Plaza, there will be a booth called the Berry Basket.
Mm-hmm.
The Berry Basket, 3 items. The item that I don't really care about is they have a salad with fresh strawberries, quinoa with a strawberry vinaigrette, and some pecans. Fine. But the 2 that interest me is there is a lamb chop with the quinoa salad and a blackberry gastrique on top. They do on the Disney Parks blog, they do have a picture of it, and if the lamb chop is that size, right, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because they show it like on a full plate, and the lamb chop takes up a good half of it. So I have a feeling that that's not really the actual size.
Did you have the lamb chop at Australia for Food and Wine that had like the mint and the potato? They call them potato crunches. It was literally just mashed up potato chips, though. Did you try that there?
I did not.
I'm really, really hoping they learned some lessons, because that lamb chop was really, really thin. It was overcooked. So I'm hoping that this will not fall under that same mistake, because that was the only thing at Food and Wine I didn't enjoy. Flavors were on point. Flavors were outstanding. It was just the cut of meat, and it could have been the one I got. I mean, it could have been at the end of the chop, and it was just a little sliver. So I'm hoping that they pull this one off well, because that sounds really good.
So I
what are you looking forward to drinking with it?
I would bring this picture though and show it to them and say, I want this 8 to 12 ounce chop that's in the picture.
Perfect. I'm printing it out.
Yeah. So for the drinks, they got a beer, they got a Moscato, but what I'm interested in is the green tea berry mint julep.
Yeah.
And then they also have it in a non-alcoholic version as well.
Yeah.
So that sounds like it'd be a little bit refreshing there. So that would be the drink I would try.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And it's funny, Rhonda and I have become tea people. Like, we drink tea all the time now, which we never did before. I don't know what just all of a sudden kickstarted it. We bought the whole package of the Disney Alice in Wonderland themed tea when we were just there last week, and it's like 96 bags of tea, and I think it's 16 different flavors. So that one really stood out to me as well. Well, if we go over to Northern Bloom in Canada, 2 of the items don't sound too bad, but beef tenderloin tips, mushroom sauce, whipped potatoes, garden vegetables, and then they have a griddled maple pound cake with warm peach compote and sweet corn gelato. But the one I'm getting, I have a feeling Michelle's going to probably get this as well, is the seared scallops with French green beans, butter potatoes, brown butter vinaigrette, and applewood smoked bacon. If this is anything like the scallop that the American Pavilion just had for Festival of the Arts, this thing to me will be a home run. Very interested to try that. And then under beverages, there are not a ton of options as far as a frozen drink goes. But, well, no, I guess this would be frozen.
That first one.
Yeah, a maple popcorn shake with Crown Royal maple whiskey, or they have the non-alcoholic maple popcorn shake. I
had the non-alcoholic last year.
Oh, they did? Okay. Did you try it?
I did. Yeah, so I had the non-alcoholic last year because I thought it would be interesting and I wanted the kids to try it as well.
Oh, all right. Well, then yeah,
So
I'm gonna try that one.
we won't be getting it again this year.
Okay, I may give that one a shot. Then we can compare notes. Although they do have, as far as their beer flight goes, you can get a unibrow. There is an amber ale, saison. I love saison beers, and then they have a white ale. And again, you can get that in the beer flight. So for me, I think we're looking at beer flight on that one.
Yeah, that would be a good one. How did I end up with the next booth?
That was it was all part of the plan. We didn't. I didn't plan the start of the show very well, but I did plan this part, and you landed right in France.
I did at Fleur de Lis. So food, I don't know. I'm not too interested in the food with the regular dishes.
Yeah.
They have a tomato tart with sautéed onion, with thyme and rosemary, with a flaky pastry crust. It's fine. They also have a gnocchi with braised duck. I'd be interested in it, but nothing I'm running to. Their dessert sounds good, which is macaron. So really, looks like a chocolate dipped macaron
Nice.
with a lollipop stick in it.
Yeah.
So the past weekend when we went to the ice cream shop in France, both of Gianna and Gavin got a cup of chocolate ice cream, and then I went for the ice cream sandwich, the chocolate macaron ice cream sandwich, which is a wonderful choice there for ice cream. So you get the crunchy yet the soft, the outside for a giant macaron cookie with ice cream in the middle of it. Great taste. France, I could care less what they have to drink because they have the slushy. And for this one, they brought back the rose slushy.
Yeah.
So orange Grey Goose, Saint Germain liqueur, white and red cranberry juice. This one will look pink. And if it's correct, if you go on the Main Street Magic website, you will see a picture of me, and you will see me holding this pink slushy.
Yes, you will.
And that, perfect. Here we go.
So that's the same slushy. That's the world famous slushy.
That is the world famous rose slushy.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, that's so funny. So again, this is all going to plan because while you landed on your favorite spot, which is at France, because of the slushy, I ended up in Mexico, which I absolutely love. My favorite pavilion in the World Showcase at Jardín de Fiestas. I'm not going to pick the pork taco, because I don't want you to yell at me for getting a taco. And honestly, I don't even know that I'm going to specifically pick number one, the chilaquiles. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's got a ranchera sauce, chorizo, Mexican cream, and cojita cheese. What stood out to me was the bread pudding. I don't know what a Mexican bread pudding is going to taste like, but I imagine it will be amazing. We love bread pudding. The local restaurant here that just opened up not too long ago, Two Creeks, that Rhonda and I are known to frequent quite often. They'll often have a bread pudding that the chef has prepared just that day, and if they do, we get it every time, no matter what kind it is. So we're gonna go with that. Under their beverages, they have a margarita. They've got a punch. They've got Daisy spicy beer. But what I thought sounded interesting was the Tiger Lily sangria. We enjoy sangria. Tiger Lily, pretty cool name. That's probably the one I'm going to go with there.
And actually, I wouldn't have yelled at you for the taco here. Because
this one actually is a little bit different than what they normally have had in the past, and you can't get this. Goat cheese and apple relish on a pork taco. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, so I make those at home. Sometimes I make tacos with pork belly with an apple guacamole.
Yeah.
On top of it, which is good. This one actually it looks like that, at least for taco wise, they stepped up their game. So I'm going to finish up here, Lotus House in China. And food wise, they have a spicy meatball with a crispy tofu. They have a vegetable spring roll. The item that I would probably get food-wise is they do have a fried chicken dumpling with peanut sauce, So where you typically get the dumplings that they could either be steamed or they're crispy on one side and kind of soft on the other, and they're stuffed. This one seems like it's going to be stuffed with a fried chicken instead of just the ground up meat. So that one I would like. And then their drinks, they have a peach bubble tea that's non-alcoholic. They do have another punch. They have a wine cooler. But they have a Kung Fu punch that I would try because it's vodka, triple sec, mango, and orange juice.
Yeah.
So that to me would be interesting. Be even better if it was frozen. But this one is not frozen. It is just a punch, and I think that would be the drink I'd be most interested in trying. So wrap us up.
Yeah. Well, we actually have a few more, John.
Do we?
We do. We have Italy, Morocco.
Oh, you know what? My notes. I have to turn the page.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we have Italy,
There we
Morocco,
go.
and Japan. So we're gonna head over to me
We're
for
good.
Italy, and yeah. So Italy. It's so fun. France and Italy, the food never really does it for me at these.
Especially Italy.
Yeah, Italy has never really been great. Now France for this festival sounds a lot better than Festival of the Arts, where I got the cold pulled pork in a cat food can. So I'm glad I didn't see that on their menu. Italy's just never really impressed me, but the one that stands out is the Maine lobster ravioli. I think that's probably the one I would look at trying. The other one, you've got crispy shrimp with zucchini and spicy sauces, asparagus frittata with mixed greens and a citrus dressing. Neither of those really do it for me. I'm a lobster fan. That sounds like that might be pretty good. And then under your beverages, you're going to get Pinot Grigio. You're going to get a Chianti, a Prosecco, Moscato. You got a Bellini. Mostly all you're looking at champagnes and wine. The one that stood out, though, was back on the frozen trend, a frozen Italian margarita with limoncello and tequila. Sounds pretty interesting and a little bit dangerous. So that may be a one-off. I don't know that I'd want to pair that one with all these other frozen beverages, because that one sounds, with the tequila in there, I don't know. I didn't know tequila was big in Italy.
Well, there's a couple things on that. No,
I was just looking,
the
I'm like, I'm not in
the other
Mexico,
thing I was
right?
saying is, if I go to Italy and I'm in Tuscany or whatever, and I'm having a dinner, am I having a Maine lobster ravioli?
Right. No, you're not. Yeah. And
Right?
you're definitely not doing shots of Jose Cuervo.
Exactly. The other thing is, I could get, and I don't know, maybe they're buying it at Costco, because I know when I go to Costco, I could get a package of Maine lobster raviolis
Oh, yeah.
in their refrigerated section,
Yep.
which I've done many a time.
They sell them up at
you know,
Publix.
Yeah, have it with a nice vodka sauce or something.
Yeah.
At home, but that, I mean, again, it's Italy, right? So we'll
Yeah.
leave it at that.
Yep.
So, considering I am not done yet, I have the taste of Marrakech at Morocco.
Well done.
And whenever I think of Morocco, all I think of is I miss the band Moroccan. Now that they're not there anymore. But on their food, they have a fried cauliflower with capers and parsley and a chili ranch sauce. Big deal, right? Again, where's the meat? A walnut honey baklava, which they tend to have at this booth
Yeah, pretty
every single
standard.
time.
Yep.
The only thing I'd be interested in is they have a harissa chicken kebab with dried fruit, couscous salad. I think that would be interesting to try, but they've, usually on this, I would be willing to try it. I'll wait until Food and Wine when they have the kefta pocket.
Yeah.
Or
the
but
hummus
otherwise,
fries.
yeah, in the hummus fries. So it seems that they Morocco can have such great food, but it seems when it hits the booth, it usually is 3 items where one is good and the other 2 are just kind of drag it down a little.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beverages, they really don't have much.
No.
I mean, they have a sparkling wine with pomegranate liquor, or liqueur, I'm sorry, white sangria, and Casa beer, which you
Which
can
is
get
there
the
all the
Casa
time.
beer,
Yeah.
year round, right at the stand. So it's a good beer. don't get me wrong, but nothing special there.
Right, but
So,
why is it? Yeah, why is it sitting there when you can go right? You can go right across from where the booth is on that one little corner area where they've got the kids slushies, and
those
get a
are
casa
they
beer.
slushies or smoothies? The kids' smoothies,
Oh yeah, or are they frozen
or are they?
ices? I don't know what they
Yeah.
are.
All
I'm
I
still gonna
know is
figure this out.
they get the blue ones,
Yep.
and then they look like they just came from Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
So
Cool. All right. Well, we are going to move over to Hanami in Japan. I don't know that I've ever actually had anything from a Japan booth, which is probably bad because typically I love Japanese food, but they do have I guess this is basically like a sushi roll, but it's made with fresh pineapple, strawberry, and melon. It's rolled up in coconut rice and then sprinkled with toasted coconut and whipped cream with raspberry sauce. They have a teriyaki salmon, which sounds pretty good, and it is with seasoned brown rice. The one that stuck out to me was the ginger beef yaki udon, which is thin sliced beef, onions, and noodles, and that's tossed on the grill with soy and ginger. Katsura Grill is a great quick service spot, and the beef that they serve in there is amazing. So I'm hoping this is something similar with those nice thick udon noodles. And then I would probably go ahead and get the pineapple sake. They do have a dry sake, and of course they have Sapporo draft beer in a Kampai cup, which I don't know what that is. I don't know if that like an edible cup maybe. You get a beer in.
I don't
That'd be
know,
cool.
but did you see the sake in the wooden box that they were doing during Festival of the Arts?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so if you went to the booth, they would take sake, and it was a wooden box, and it was a personalized wooden box.
Oh.
So they would write your name in Japanese letters on the side of this wooden box, and then take a ladle and ladle out the sake into this wooden box. Now, I saw people with it, and the box was neat. I mean, a nice keepsake, something that you're going to be able to have, but it's a square drinking vessel.
Interesting.
So some people were struggling with the drinking of it,
Yeah.
but it did look interesting.
Yeah, I totally missed out on that one, and I don't know why I've never stopped anything there. I don't. Yeah, I'm thinking usually I either still have a drink in my hand or I've just had something else to eat and I haven't really stopped by. But I'll be interested to try it this time. I'll make sure of that.
So Kampai means dry cup, but it's the Japanese word for cheers.
Ah, okay.
So as glasses are raised, Kampai translates to empty cup. The Western equivalent would be bottoms up. And it's a tradition once dictated that people were expected to finish their cup of sake at that time. So
we're learning all kinds of things today.
Yeah, so it seems like it's just some kind of a keepsake mug for that.
Okay. Well, that would get me to order a Sapporo then. I usually prefer like a Kirin, but I do enjoy Sapporo, and if I get a little Kape mug, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I do finish it off, and I finish it off with Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company, but they do not have one location; they have 4.
Yeah.
And there's one special beverage at each of the 4 kiosks. 3 of them I would order and try in a heartbeat. The first one that I would not is the one at American Adventure. It's a strawberry pina colada. Fine. I'm not a pina colada fan.
Yeah.
Michelle is. She might like that. But the other ones I would like is there is at Showcase Plaza, there is a frozen pink guava topped with rum or vodka. In Canada, it's an orange blossom twist, so it's frozen orange pineapple topped with vodka. And at Future World East, it is iced tea topped with frozen passion fruit with vodka.
Ah.
So I don't know what brand vodka they are using for this, but if you haven't noticed, I tend to be a gin or a vodka drinker.
Yeah.
So give me 3 of those 4 beverages at the different kiosks are all vodka. I'm in. I'd try all of them. They all sounded, 3 of those sound pretty decent.
I like how the one over at Future World East is called the Final Lap.
Yeah.
What, is that because if somebody's already had the other 3? And that's it. They're probably like, hey, you should probably go home now.
Which is interesting because that would technically be the first one you would pass.
Yeah, it would. Well, unless you do what we often do where we start in Canada, and it's, I think, if I remember, it's more towards the left, closer towards Mexico. So potentially it could be the last if you start in Canada, I'm thinking.
Yeah, but see that, and even this, because then you have the Showcase Plaza.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. So you wouldn't even hit that actual round with the Showcase Plaza.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like I've already been drinking these because I can't keep track of the order we're going in. So, well, this is I'm excited. I mean, we got 3 full months to enjoy this. Again, by the time this episode comes out, I'm heading down by myself on a little solo trip for the open of Flower and Garden, staying the night at All Star Movies, and then I'm coming home on Thursday before the kids get out of school, and I'm just doing it all for our listeners so that we can bring them the latest and greatest news. So if you are listening, make sure you like us on Facebook at Maine ST Magic. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Maine ST Magic, because I will certainly be posting my adventures at Flower and Garden there, and I will do my best to stay away from way too many frozen, slushy, icy lemonades and all, so I can make sure by the end of the night I'm still reporting properly.
I just have to figure out on how I get myself a nice frozen drink, and I'm there in the front row for Foghat.
Oh, yeah. That sounds perfect. And we seriously, we need to look at some calendars because I will go down for Smash Mouth. That would be fun. We might have to line that up. But as always, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe to our show. And if you could, leave us a rating and review. It really helps the show grow, and it will help listeners of other podcasts find our show as well. So we would really appreciate if you could do that. Well, that's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.